Deadpool Phase Zero, Season 2, Episode 10 starts right now. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Brandon Davis, joined today by Aaron Perrine.
What's going on, BD? I'd like to shout out Ryan Reflects. How soon into the Miss Marvel talk will BD mention that there's no Avengers Tower? It's happening today.
What? She's in New Jersey, okay? Whatever. We got Jamie Durack in the virtual house.
Good morning.
Hey, it's a good morning whenever you're here, Jamie. And you're home, so we get all the Wanda imagery in the background. Jeez. Oh, we are blessed. We're blessed. And we have Jenna Anderson.
Hey, everybody. I am never, ever again complaining that we have nothing to talk about on a certain week of this show because, last Wednesday was one of the craziest news days I have seen that hasn't been tied to, a big thing. It was every single media company was let's put out news at, 1 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. And then it only just snowballed from there. Aaron and I were joking last night. We could almost do, a we didn't start the fire just out of, all of the news that has dropped since we recorded last. So it's just crazy, but I am very happy to be here. This is going to be a fun one.
We were pretty thin on news last week, and this week we are chonking. We need a bigger door frame to fit through it with all this news. First of all, we do have to start the show by saying, rest in peace, William Hurt, a pillar of the MCU, one of the longest-running actors in there, but his career far transcended the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oscar winner, quite a career for William Hurt, and that was a sad loss that we all saw, had the news of this week. And we just wanted to say that, rest in peace, William Hurt. Tough loss for the Marvel family. And we didn't want to not mention that. So we do have a lot of news to talk about, though, on a brighter note. And we are going to talk about the trailer we woke up to yesterday morning. And that was the Miss Marvel trailer, which I thought was a pretty good trailer. We're going to go around the room and get some reactions. We're going to talk breakdown, Easter eggs, everything else that we saw. I got a bunch of notes here that I thought that I caught in the trailer, and we're all going to kind of share our own. But first, reactions. Jenna, you're at the top of the screen. What'd you think?
I loved this trailer so much. I was listening to The Weeknd all last night just after Blinding Lights got stuck in my head about a dozen times because of this trailer. I still don't know how I feel about them changing her powers. I still am curious to see how they justify it because it was there was nothing wrong with how her powers were in the comics. I would have been very curious how they would have adapted that. But on every other level, this trailer gets the vibe of what Kamala Khan's story should be. It gets her supporting cast and it gets her world and just the youthful energy. I got goosebumps watching this trailer the second or third time, and that was kind of cool. I wasn't prepared for that at all. So I liked it. It's just, again, that one thing with the powers is still kind of weird.
I might agree with you there. Aaron, what'd you think?
I'm just as excited as I was before, and I feel a lot better about my rankings now, which is always fun to have happen. I did not expect that. I think it's massively weird we got this trailer before Thor 4 trailer. That is some strange business.
But it releases before Thor 4.
But still.
Yeah, but it's still weird. You'd think you would want to just keep the momentum going before coming out of whatever's happening.
I agree with you. I just had to argue for no reason.
I get it. I don't mind the bracelets. I'm thinking that this is another one of those things that we always joke around about where Marvel's going to give you nerds what you want. You just have to wait for it. I think that's what's probably going to happen. I've never seen so many people talk about Quasar on Twitter in my life. Calm down. That's not true. I said, Adam, good one. TJ, yes, sure, fine. David and them, who were joking with me later on Twitter, yes, sure. But I'm that's 6 of y'all. That's not a lot. So we'll see what happens. I'm super excited. I'm just happy. I'm happy.
Jamie?
I feel really similar as to right before Hawkeye, where the trailer elevated my excitement infinitely. I love stuff about teens, and just like I love stuff about Christmas, I got my Christmas with Hawkeye, and then I'm getting my teen show. I just love that. I love that we're getting every new thing is a completely different genre, and a good thing for me. I like most of the genres. I have a soft spot for most of that stuff. So I think it looks adorable. I loved all the cartoony stuff in there. I hope that's part of the show and not just a weird trailer thing. All of it. She looks great. I think she's going to be a star. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I thought the trailer was good. I that weekend song is a song I've heard so many times, so I wasn't really like fired up to hear it again. But I like it works, so I'm not faulting it. I just had to joke that song is overplayed on the radio. I'm with all of you that the powers are kind of weird. Like I think it's just kind of more and more obvious that they were like worried that she might have powers that look similar to Mr. Fantastic if they go with the typical beginning. Like it just seems like Aaron, what?
One thing. In my preview, when we did the preview episode, I said, go read Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the Limit starts laying the groundwork for what we're seeing right here. So it's not completely out of nowhere. I know people are like, oh, everybody has theories for a thing we have not seen a second of yet. But I think there are some specific reasons why. While they could dovetail into being like, oh yeah, we didn't want two stretchy people. Although, why wouldn't you want two stretchy people? They make for great comic panels when they happen on paper. I'm here for the.
If and when we do interviews for this, that's certainly going to be like the first question we and everyone else asks is, changing the powers. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure we will get answers on that. But I love the like Jamie said, I love the teen story element of it. I love a story where you have a young person who's kind of hiding their identity from their family and stuff like that. I love, like in Homecoming, one of my favorite elements is how he's balancing like secret identity as Spider-Man, hiding that from his friends and Aunt May, and also like choosing, like he also wants to have a social life. And I feel like we're going to see that with Kamala in Miss Marvel. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, seeing her have to make the choice of like, well, I have to choose between this social life and this superhero life. And that's going to be a fun dynamic that we're going to see her balance. This Norrin is rad. Nice name. Said the stretchy effect is difficult and looks bad in dancing sequences. What?
I don't know. I do agree with Aaron, though. I think like eventually her powers are probably going to evolve. I feel like this is one of the few superhero shows where you can justify kind of the thing that like The Flash did in its very first season of like each week I'm learning a new superpower or a new facet of my superpowers. I feel like we're going to see that happen with Kamala, and like she has the giant purple fist at the one point in the trailer, which feels very like, outside of it being purple, feels like something that she would do in the comics. So I think the whole embiggening aspect is going to be a thing that will just evolve over the course of the season. Like that's my hope, at least.
And I'm not a comics purist. Like I know there are characters who I will have a specific attachment to. Miss Marvel's not one of those characters for me. There's only a few like elements of comics, very few that I would say like you have to do this. And I'll give this a chance. I do think it's weird. It looks weird. It's not what we were expecting this to look like. But I'm not like a source material purist. I love the Halo show. That's changing a little bit of the story from Halo. I love Spider-Man in the MCU. We didn't see Uncle Ben die right out of the gate. Tony Stark kind of filled that role. So if you find ways to meaningfully change it, that's okay. Like Walking Dead did that all the time, changed some comic stuff. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't. So I'm going to give this a chance. I do think it is a weird looking effect. It's very Green Lantern. It's almost like it looks like the Matrix Resurrections when Neo was just stopping bullets, and like that was just his new power. Like when she's fighting bullets off in the trailer. But I'm going to give it a shot. Everybody wants to talk about Quasar's bands. Everybody in the comments section, there's like at least 3, so that means everybody. Talking about Quasar's bands. Yeah, I mean, are those the quantum bands? I don't know. I don't know how they would have ended up in an attic and used, but the fact that she finds those bands already reminds me of how Sam Alexander finds a Nova helmet in the comics. So I have to find a Nova reference and everything.
The thing is like in the comics, those are like a family heirloom that she just wears as like part of her costume while she already has the stretchy powers through the Terrigen Mist. So it's like very curious to see. I think they'll still keep the heirloom aspect, but they'll just be like a super powered thing. So it's like, I'm curious about that too. I don't want them to be the quantum bands in that case, because it feels like you're like portmanteauing a different person's thing onto like her family legacy, but we'll just have to see.
I mean, the Kree are not above experimenting on people. They are not. They are not above kidnapping people for an unspecified amount of time and then training them to be giant killing machines. So it's so weird. That's why it's so hard for me to parse, because everybody in Slack, and this is like inside baseball to Comicbook.com, but like everybody was talking about these bands, and I am like having to like Google and figure it out. And I'm like, one of you older people, please tell me what is going on for myself. I was understanding Quasar, but I'm trying to figure out how it could bridge the gap. There's also a weird part of this that Adam alerted me to that fits into my black group thing too. And I was like, why would you do that? Get out of here. Stop adding things to the conspiracy board. What's wrong with you?
A couple Easter eggs I saw. You can see Rocket Raccoon in the background of one shot, like a statue of Rocket Raccoon, not actual Rocket Raccoon cameoing. Obviously, Carol's Air Force jacket is being worn by Kamala along with a Captain Marvel helmet. There's a GWW plate on, like, I think it's her guidance counselor's desk, which could be a nod to G. Willow Wilson, who created the Zoe Zimmer character in Miss Marvel Comics and Marvel Comics. In the Marvel logo, shout out to Screen Crush for finding this one. I don't know if anybody else found it, but I was watching a YouTube video on Screen Crush, and the Marvel logo shows a panel of Colossus's arm. So, X-Men confirmed, mutants in the MCU. We don't have Inhumans in Miss Marvel, but we do have Colossus. What else we got? She was drawing Ant-Man and Man-Ant in the comic. That was that reminded me of Turning Red. If anybody did you guys watch Turning Red?
I mean, yes, I reviewed it for us. So
I saw a couple tweets comparing the trailer Turning Red, and I was like, "It's the fangirls' time."
It is. It's so great.
Rise of the cinematic fangirl.
Yep.
Kamala is like Kamala really is the character who, like, if we became a superhero, like what it would be like to meet. Like, it's kind of like what I feel like whenever I get to do interviews and stuff. Like, I'm like, yo, this is so cool. I have to play it cool. Kamala is that character. What else do we have in this trailer? Oh, there's a sign on a building that says Edison, and I don't think it's Edison, New Jersey, but Edison is in North Jersey, and I spent a couple years growing up there, so I hope so. Nice. That'd be dope. My grandparents lived right next to Edison, so just shouting out Edison, New Jersey. What's up, New Jersey? Represent.
New Jersey.
I think that's pretty much all I found. Red Dagger is in there. Red Dagger looks like a villain in this because he's seen fighting Kamala, but like Red Dagger's not going to be a villain. Like, I'm pretty sure that might just be like an encounter where they're both confused and they don't know each other's identities, and then they're like, "Oh, it's you." So, and then they have to team up. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I found. I did not see Avengers Tower anywhere in the poster or on the trailer, so I'm really curious about who bought that. Maybe one day I'll find out, but it's not today.
Was it Tom Holland who said that he knows the answer?
Yep, it sure was.
So. Yeah.
And Zendaya knows too now because he whispered sweet nothings into her ear about it. So
I will just say the comments did point out with Edison. I totally forgot that this was his name, but like one of her first villains in the comics is a like man-bird hybrid who's like a cockatoo face, and his name is like Edison, and he like experiments on stuff. So if like he's one of those people where when the show was announced, I was like, is he going to be like a big bad or like a boss fight for like one episode? So if they find a way to make him work, that would be really cool, because just a bird man face would be really crazy.
We've had weirder in the last 12 months.
Absolutely.
We've had stranger stuff happen where it was like, this is never going to happen. And then Alligator Loki comic book series.
Absolutely.
Different world.
We are blessed.
Yeah.
Blessed. All right. I mean, that's all. Was there anything you guys wanted to add about this Miss Marvel trailer?
My one thing I hope is that, like, I really want them to nail her fan fiction aspect in the comics, because they have fun with that in so many ways, like in the early comics in particular. And I hope there is a way that they do that, whether it's like a Drunk History style reenactment of like, here's two Avengers in like a fight scene and it's really just Kamala's fan fiction, or it's like a cartoon thing, like whatever it ends up being. I really hope they lean into that, because that you're at the point in the MCU where you can really have fun with that. And I think that would just be so great.
I think there's a really cool shot when she sits up in the bed and she like uses her power of like what looks like maybe a shield or like to maybe close the door or something. And it's directly facing the Captain Marvel poster on her wall that's coming at her. I wonder if that's going to be like their first encounter as an accidental fight. Maybe that was a tease.
I don't know. Because like in the comics, they meet after like she's already kind of cemented herself as Miss Marvel, and they like meet on a rooftop, and it's kind of like, good job, kid. Like I'll keep an eye on you, sort of thing. So it's like I hope that they do something that's a variation of that, because that seems like a moment that would really play. But like, yeah, however they work Carol into the show, that'll be cool.
Do we think Carol shows up in this show?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say yeah. I think Brie Larson is down. I think it makes sense because Kamala's going on to the Marvels. Like, can we get G. Willow Wilson on the show sometime? I would be happy to try. I will definitely try. I think that would be something that would happen closer to June, but maybe during those Obi-Wan episodes, we'll be out here talking about Miss Marvel with G. Willow Wilson, and then segue into like a little Obi-Wan coverage because that's what we do here. All right. Yeah, maybe we're going to get Ewan McGregor on the show, and it's going to be a fan surprise for Jamie.
Don't mess with me.
Don't threaten her with a good time.
I need to be prepared for something like that.
I need to get ready. All right. Big news of the week, pretty much. Probably one of the biggest stories last week was that Sean Levy, director of Free Guy, director of The Adam Project, 2 movies that I adored, both those films in very different ways, and Stranger Things, is directing Deadpool 3. And it just goes to show that I am also going to play Nova in the MCU because my power of manifesting has gotten too strong and I'm losing control of it, and it's just happening. But yeah, no, we interviewed Sean Levy for Adam Project. I asked him, are you going to get Hugh Jackman and Ryan together in Deadpool 3? Like, when's this going to happen? Because I was just trying to work in that I want him to direct Deadpool 3. I think it'd be a good fit. And he said he absolutely has the plan and intention and determination to get them together. I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact quote. We played on the show last week, so go listen to last week's episode. And yeah, so that's cool. I love that news. I'm a huge fan of Levy's work. I especially these last 2 movies with Ryan. Ryan said the third movie in the Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds trilogy is going to be a tad more stabby, and I'm here for it. I think Deadpool 3 with the 2 of them working together is going to be great, and I think this gives us a great chance of seeing Hugh Jackman because Sean Levy also directed Real Steel. He's good friends with Hugh. Hugh went to the Adam Project premiere. My tinfoil hat says he's in Deadpool 3. Anybody else have questions, comments, concerns about Sean Levy directing Deadpool 3? The floor is open.
I like Stranger Things a lot. I love Stranger Things. It's one of my favorite
I have fallen
things.
behind.
Both Free Guy and Adam Project are very kind of middling for me. I think they're fun, cute movies. And I think I kind of touched on this when we were speculating. And it's like, I don't think Deadpool is a visually enough of a challenge that I'm like, he can't do it. I think he's going to be just fine. I think I have sure. Let's give it to him and see what he can do. They're making a lot of money together and they're going to keep making money together, and good for them.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I haven't seen Free Guy or Adam Project yet. I've been meaning to. I've just been busy. But like I like a lot of the stuff that he has done over the course of his career. Like I was rewatching the Birds of Prey TV show the other day, and he directed an episode of that. And it was like, oh, that's cool. Like you started out here. But it's like I'm on board with him and Reynolds working together. I am curious though, because reports also did say that like the 2 guys who wrote Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 are now working on the script for 3, which I'm kind of curious about because I was really excited for the Molly New sisters who work on Bob's Burgers to be contributing the script, and I hope that like their vibe for the movie still shines through because like I was really excited to see what they could do with Deadpool, especially in an MCU context. So that aspect is kind of interesting to me.
This is one of the rare cases where I wish, maybe it's not that rare, but I wish there was a little bit more transparency on what's going on with the movie.
Yeah.
Like this feels to me like Morbius, where we're like, what universe is it in? We just want to know who's making the movie, who's writing the movie. Also, I've seen Morbius, by the way, and I can't say anything about it, but I do think I should let everybody know. Seen it, and I can share my reaction when I can share my reaction. That's not today. If you pay Jenna and Jamie and Aaron enough, maybe they'll tell you my thoughts.
They'd be disappointed in like what we would be able to tell them anyway. So,
yeah, but I'm a big Sean Levy fan. At least his collaborations with Ryan, I love those 2 films. So I'm glad they're making Deadpool 3 specifically, just because that's the movie I want. Just for me. Thank you guys.
I want to ask: does anybody think that this means that you get Jackman in, like, because this is only going to pour gasoline on the speculation around Multiverse of Madness, because why?
I think Deadpool's in Multiverse of Madness for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think, but is Jackman in Multiverse of Madness?
I don't know. I'd
be surprised.
I'd be more. I think he'll be in Deadpool 3. I don't think he'll be in Doctor Strange.
But if he's in Deadpool 3, I think it's really going to be a cameo kind of a situation. I don't think he's going to have a big part. I think he's just going to pop in.
I think that's probably a good bet. But I think we're all sleeping on Patrick Stewart's coercion tactics. Like, come on. Come on, man.
Well, and then Halle Berry, like a couple days ago, had like a very Storm-like haircut. Like she dyed her hair white again. And so everyone's like, oh my God, Storm's in Multiverse of Madness. So it's like, I need this movie to come out already so we can stop having these conversations. The fact that they are still doing reshoots is like kind of crazy to me. Because now it's like anybody can be in this.
Y'all better be ready. Get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be insane.
I'm ready. I'm real curious if that's one that they're gonna show before the junket, because like Spider-Man only showed us 40 minutes. Like the last movie that didn't show us anything was Endgame, or Endgame showed us 10 minutes. So I'm really curious. Like the premiere for Doctor Strange is just a few days. It's the week of release. Like they're not having the premiere until like right before the movie comes out, which is obviously to try to prevent spoilers, because we saw what happened in Eternals.
Just ruined it for the rest of us forever.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, but I'm curious if they're going to show it like, or is the junket like 2 days before the movie comes out, so that you have to see, because Eternals, the only screening for Eternals was at the premiere, and then the interviews were the day after the premiere. But that was like almost 3 weeks before the movie released. So,
Brandon, you're gonna step outside to go get like milk or something to the grocery store, and they're gonna put you in a van. And then you're only gonna get to see 30 minutes of it, and then they're gonna drop you back off in the middle of where you live. Like, hey, we're not even dropping you back at your house. Find your way home.
It'll take you long enough to get home. The movie will be in theaters by the time. We are not worried about it.
It would be crazy though, trying to do a junket, like if you had seen it and you did know all of the spoilers of like, how would you talk in code about any of the stuff that like you can't spoil?
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like that, in that aspect, I would be like, yeah, just show the first half hour, first 45 minutes, something like that, and just go off of that. Because otherwise you're gonna just be like, so that bald guy, how do you feel about him or whatever? Like you're just gonna be speaking in code the entire junket.
The way y'all tap danced around Eternals, I want to see it. I want to see if you can do it. I don't think it's possible, because it was so much like trying to like tiptoe around the freaking landmine. The whole movie is just landmine. It's just mine. It's the Sideshow Bob stepping on Rick.
I mean, yeah, but that's like, and that's the thing. Like, Strange is like, and I'm saying this just so everybody knows, I obviously have not seen Doctor Strange yet. Like, based on the trailer, like, we're gonna want to talk about Savage Land. We're gonna want to talk about going to an animated universe. And if you even talk about those things, having seen them, despite them being in the trailer, it's just like, well, do people actually want to know that yet before the movie? Like, right? So, or saying something like, so you got to work with a bunch of cast members. What was it like to see so many different people on set? Like, even if I don't name them in the interview, it's just people don't want to. So I don't know. It is everything's a landmine, especially with Strange. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. Our life is so hard. I have to find a way to talk about a movie. Oh no, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Anyway, Sean Levy's directing Deadpool 3. We're moving on.
All right. So we got first reactions to Moon Knight from different people, and that's very, very positive. I'm just gonna read off a couple of them. University Film Review says Moon Knight is fantastic, and Oscar Isaac is exceptional as the tormented Mark Spector. This is the Marvel show everyone is going to be talking about. Completely bonkers that leads with a haunting adventure. Marvel Studios has knocked out the park. You've got David Opie talking about, I watched the first 4 episodes and I'm as divided about the show as Mark himself, but it works. It's a wildly original MCU entry with flashes of greatness, but some of the sillier aspects distract from the humor, which confuses me. I wonder what Jim is going to think. I just want Jim Biscardi's thing, entire read of this. What's on Disney Plus said they watched the first 4 episodes and it's unlike anything they've seen in the MCU. Oscar Isaac is fantastic. Somewhere Layla is pumping her fist wildly in the background. I can't wait to watch the rest of the series. So everybody seems to be like talking about how unique this whole thing is. Yeah, I just saw the Oscar
I'm loving the Brandon Moore's comment. Jim wrote all those reviews.
I know.
Jim wrote all those reviews. That's right from his jail cell.
How many episodes are there for people to get 4?
I know. I think there's
6.
6. So it's very weird if we're getting 4 screeners.
Whoa.
Like, that's kind of crazy.
That is
And
wild.
really, it's us who are struggling because we get 4 and then we have to wait
Forever.
like 6 weeks for episode 5. So
God.
really, it is us, the journalists, the hosts and producers who are having the hardest time because not instead of 1 week in between, we have to wait 6 after watching all 4 at once. So
Because we're not going to rewatch it every week.
Absolutely.
What? What? Yeah, that's some hype though. That's some hype. I mean, like, it feels like we're at the point where the people on Twitter who are like, you say this after every Marvel project are like, they have a point. Like, somebody always says this is the best thing ever. But praise for Moon Knight is pretty high, like from the people who have seen it. So that's exciting. That is exciting.
Well, to somebody, every project is the best thing ever.
Oh, sure, right. Oh, I agree.
That's the beauty of it all.
But we also recognize that people who speak in hyperbole get more engagement.
Sure.
That's true.
Mark Spector is a problem. Sniffy emoji, sniffy emoji, sniffy emoji. 17K like 4,000 retweet. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works.
Sniffy emoji? Is that
Like,
what you
that bull weird
Sniffy.
crazy emoji.
Man, wow.
I don't know what's happening.
I got allergies. If I tried to make smoke out of my nose right now, that would be terrible for everybody.
Same here.
Woof.
Wow.
All right. So Moon Knight hype off the chains. We move.
Absolutely. So in other news this week, this was something that had been rumored forever and then finally was confirmed in the past week. Michael Giacchino, who is a composer who has done so many movies. He did like all of the Spider-Man movies recently. He most recently did the Batman. If you're singing along to the Batman score, you can thank him for that. He is directing the Werewolf by Night Halloween special for Disney+. The weird thing is, though, it's apparently not called Werewolf by Night. Like, we don't know what the title's going to be, but I guess it's going to be something that isn't just Werewolf by Night. I love that he is like on board to direct this. I've interviewed a lot of composers over the years, not him specifically, but like the way that composers deal with just like creating a work and dealing with a work. I think it's very interesting to now have him flip over to the directing side. I think that's a super cool decision. And I'm very excited to see what he does, especially with like how horror and spoofy this thing is going to get. So what do y'all think?
Oh, I'm so jazzed. He's one of the best at what he does right now working. It's crazy. And we don't see that transition a lot, composer to director. That's not super common. And I'm rooting for him. I have a good feeling. He's directed a couple episodes of things, like I think some Star Trek here and there, shorts maybe. Mm-hmm. And I'm jazzed to see what he comes up with, because I mean, if you're that talented in one way, I imagine you're going to have some talents in other places.
Absolutely.
I think all of the horror stuff is gonna. What is happening?
You good, BD?
What happened to BD?
I just had a Michael Scott moment. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's this horror stuff really like thrives off of atmosphere, and that's the one thing I'm like, oh, he's not gonna have any problem with the freaking atmosphere of like Werewolf by Night or like a horror property. Like, I still hear Batman stomping around in the background of my everyday life. Don't hide your water cups because he coming. And that is going to be really interesting to see. And I think it also speaks to sort of what Jamie was talking about. With each of these are going to be like a different genre. Like every single project feels like it's completely different than the other one. He's going to bring a different sensibility, a different like style, sort of in some ways. So it should be really exciting. Also, if you're looking for spooky things that involve like MCU players, we watched Fresh this week at the house. And oh my God, Sebastian Stan. Jamie.
I haven't decided if I want to watch it because it's not a subject matter that, even though I just watched every Hannibal movie. Okay, I should watch it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes, please. Okay. So we can discuss.
Okay.
The fact that Michael Giacchino is going to get an opportunity to make bum, 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 a visual, that's amazing.
Exactly.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yes.
He's going to make that noise into a picture. Oh my God, let's go. I'm a huge Michael Giacchino fan. That man scored the soundtrack to my life with Lost. I'm a huge fan of his work. I have seen him live in concert. I've met him. I've interviewed him over Zoom for our Comic-Con show back in 2020 here. I think he's talented as all hell, as we've all covered. So I think that's really exciting. It's really cool. It must be pretty exciting to go from scoring so many epic projects to now directing one that's pretty high profile. What a directorial debut to be making with the Marvel Universe for the Halloween special. But we're going to take a quick break here for 1 minute. We'll be right back. And we have a couple exclusive clips from South by Southwest, which you probably already saw on Twitter, but we're going to play them in the show. So see you in a minute. Bum, 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 bum. Nobody muted my mic. What the hell? Welcome back to Phase Zero Season 2, Episode 10. BD, Jamie, Jenna, and Aaron are in the virtual building. Welcome to the live show, Meteor 316. If you're watching us on Twitch, make sure you follow. I do agree the live shows are the best, but we do love our podcast listeners who refuse to see our faces that are made for radio. That's okay. We know our place. But those who do see our beautifulness every Wednesday, we love you too. I don't really know. We just kind of go everywhere. So we appreciate you who watch us. We appreciate you who listen to us. And we appreciate Michael Giacchino's Batman soundtrack here on Phase Zero. We got a couple more bits of news, including some clips coming up, and we're just going to keep rolling.
Oh, man. Before the clips, are we going to talk about what today is? March 16th? Yeah. March 16th. Could be a lot of things. The day before St. Patrick's Day. 1 month and 1 day after my birthday. But what it really is the day that the Defender series, but more importantly, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are entering the Disney Plus verse. Everyone who has Disney Plus can now watch these shows. It's an exciting day. It's a new dawn. We've got some dark stuff on Disney Plus like we've never seen before. And all of you who for some reason didn't have Netflix but have Disney Plus, your lives are about to change.
Wait, what tab is it? Go ahead, keep going.
No, that was it.
That was. I realized I was cutting off like a tremendous performance. So I was like, hold on, if there's more to this, I need to let this go. I'm opening Disney Plus right now. Maybe one of you can already answer. Oh, access the full catalog. Oh, wow. So now as soon as you log on to Disney Plus, you have to accept adult content.
Yeah.
Set your content ratings to TVMA. Full catalog. Okay. Oh, I have to enter my password. Good thing it's saved because I don't remember it. Oh my God, a pin. No, I don't want a pin. I just want the adult content. Show me all of it. Whatever. Okay, Marvel.
One of the other people who uses my account did all of that this morning for us, and he was like, I almost set a password just so it could only be set to kids content for y'all, and you have no way to unlock it. So I'm glad that they're making everybody do this, because otherwise I don't want some parent group being like, my kid accidentally saw Daredevil because we didn't realize these parental controls were a thing. So at least everybody has to go through this process.
So in the Disney Plus interface, they're at the top under featured right now. All of the shows: Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, The Punisher, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then we go into Assembled, Eternals, Amazing Spider-Man and Friends. And then there's another tab lower called the Defender Saga, and it has all of them again right there. And I'm assuming they're just uncensored as is, which that's cool. I appreciate it. I think that makes a lot of people happy. Let the canon versus uncanon debate begin.
Yay.
Woo!
Oh, did you notice anything? No, okay, Brandon, click on Daredevil.
Daredevil. Yeah.
One moment, please. All right. What am I clicking? Okay, I'm in here. Daredevil. Blinded as a young boy, Matt Murdock fights injustice by day as a lawyer and by night as the superhero Daredevil in Hell's Kitchen, New York City.
Is there something weird about Daredevil, BD?
Is there something weird about Daredevil?
Yeah.
Is that what am I missing here?
It's Bullseye.
Is that Bullseye? I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What I didn't want to say isn't that Bullseye and be wrong? No. That'd be a really bad thing. Like that's not Charlie Cox's jaw right there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they have Bullseye in there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, now I got to
We
look at
covered it
all of
the
them.
site.
That's definitely a scroll for Jessica Jones. That's weird. Get it? It's a okay. Anyway. All right. Here we go. How long till they change that? We'll see. They literally changed the WandaVision post-credit scene, so I'm sure that they will update this. I wonder how many times things have changed in these shows that they can just, because it's not like we remember them that well. Did they ever change the WandaVision previously on? That was like an alternate take.
I don't know.
Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
There was like a version where she said like she was not supposed to be here. Then there was another one that was like she had to go.
Yeah.
Last time I watched, I fast forwarded the previously on, so I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll fix that. Disney makes no mistakes, and if they do, they didn't.
Yeah. A notoriously mistake-free company.
Yeah. And if they do, they don't. All right. Nicolas Cage returning as Ghostwriter. There was a story last week where it was like Nicolas Cage dodges question about returning as Ghostwriter. So I asked him, what's the deal with that? You guys ever talk? You ever talk to Feige in the MCU, or does the MCU and Feige ever talk to you? And this is the clip.
What's interesting is nobody asked me about going back to Ghostwriter. That was a question that came up, and they weren't asking about Ghostwriter. They're asking what do you think of the Marvel movies, and I gave my opinion about it.
Then I have to ask you, what do you think about going back to Ghostwriter?
Ghostwriter is an amazing character. I mean, he's a complicated character. It's kind of like, how do you tell the story of Faust within the context of that universe? Because it's a very philosophical character. I think it makes him special from other superheroes.
I love it, man. Well, it's a pleasure to speak with you. Enjoy the night, too. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, I've never been more jealous of you in my life.
First of all, what a Nick Cage response to make a Faust comparison for Ghostwriter. Like, I get it. I'm not really faulting him for it, but man, that's a deep, like, that gives some depth to Ghostwriter. But I think it's funny. He also still didn't really answer whether he'd do it again. When he was like, nobody asked me, I was like, well, okay, I'm about to ask you that. Like, what are you doing? And he still didn't answer, but he was really, really nice. That full interview is on Comicbook.com. Also, that movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I'm pretty sure in at least one of my red carpet interviews, I switch the adjectives or called it The Massive Weight of Tremendous Talent or something, because I just for the life of me could not get that movie title right that day. That movie is excellent. Jamie, it is going to be like possibly your favorite movie ever. It is so good. Pedro Pascal, first of all, like, I'm sorry, Nick Cage. I know this movie's literally about you. Pedro Pascal steals the movie. Pedro is so good in that film. It's impossible to be better than him. Nicolas Cage is also tremendous, though. He's so good. The two of them together are the best pairing in a hot minute. That movie's great.
There's nothing that I love more on this earth than when actors play themselves. And the fact that we're going to get a full movie of my second favorite actor in the history of the earth playing himself is just can't believe my luck sometimes, you guys. Like, Hollywood's just like, what can we do for Jamie this week?
Yeah, they gave me Deadpool 3. They're giving you the massive weight of the unbearable weight of tremendous talent. They made a movie for Jamie. Jen and Aaron, you guys are due.
I know, eventually. You broke Layla, by the way. She was just in the chat, just very happy right now.
The movie's account has quoted Layla multiple times in graphics and stuff, in the funniest out of context sentences where you're so like, great. Who said this? And I was like, oh, it's Layla.
Yeah. I don't know that anybody is exactly like itching desperately to see Nick Cage play Ghostwriter again. Like, he's similar to a case of Andrew Garfield, in my opinion, where he's better as the character than the movie is. But I think a lot of us are ready for more Robbie Reyes in the MCU. But I wouldn't be mad if it happened. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, here's a cool thing that could be referenced or nodded to, but nobody's really itching for Ghostwriter 3.
I just want a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need more. I just want like a fun little cameo, and then yeah. Obviously, we want more Robbie for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that cancellation. But, I mean, just give me a little, like, all I want is a scene between Nick Cage and Wesley Snipes where they're like, hey, and then that's that. I don't need any more.
That would be cool. Have you interviewed Gabriel Luna?
I haven't. I have met him, but I've not interviewed him.
Well, okay, but you probably like he is like I think the rule of playing Ghostwriter is you just have to be like cool, because Gabriel Luna is one of the cool. I got to interview him at New York Comic Con once. He's just such a cool, chill dude. And they both seem to really love and understand and be enthusiastic about their Ghostwriter characters, which is something I always appreciate when actors do that, even if it's just a talking point. Like where the studio is like, here are some comic names to drop. I don't care. Fool me. It makes me happy. Anyway, all right, one more clip here. Daniel Radcliffe was also at South by Southwest for The Lost City. That movie was pretty good. If you like comedies, I'll just say it's a super fun comedy. I laughed a ton. It may have been like premiere energy laughs. I don't know. I had a really good time watching it. I think Sandra Bullock comedies are funny. The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds is great. So I thought it was pretty funny. It's just a silly, simple rom-com flick that if you like those movies, you'll probably get a kick out of it. If you don't, you'll probably be like, this is stupid. But Daniel Radcliffe plays a villain in it. I spoke to Mr. Potter, and I didn't put on my English accent, unfortunately. I should have, because Layla would have really enjoyed my secondhand embarrassment there. But I asked about the Wolverine rumors, and we got a clip of that too.
If you read fan castings and stuff like that on Comicbook.com, we've covered this one often. There's a lot of fans who think of Wolverine.
Mate, it's the most.
So you did hear it.
Point people, because so many times people come up to me like, "Hey man, I heard the Wolverine news. That's really cool." I'm like, mate, it's not. I don't know anything about it. Like, I appreciate that somebody has clearly gone like, Wolverine's actually short in the comic books. We should get like a short guy to do it. but I don't see them going from Hugh Jackman to me afterwards. But who knows? Prove me wrong, Marvel.
First of all, the coolest dude.
So
that
much.
interview is also on the Comicbook.com YouTube channel. He was so fun to talk to. He just like seems to be having a ball with his life, and I appreciate that. But also his short king awareness is something to be admired. There, honestly, I think Daniel Radcliffe is a pretty good actor, and I think him as Wolverine, not a bad option.
I love Daniel Radcliffe. I mean, not beyond the fact that I grew up on Harry Potter.
Sure.
I've seen him on Broadway. Just yesterday, I rewatched Swiss Army Man. If you guys have not seen that film, It is phenomenal. And he's so good in it. He literally plays a dead guy, and he's so good. I would love to see him take on a role like this. I also feel like, though, that, his life is finally feels like kind of settled, and like he like finally is not getting that craze that he was getting his whole childhood. And I feel like throwing him back into the MCU, part of me thinks like he doesn't want that.
I actually I did an interview with them the next day. It was Sandra and Daniel together, and I asked him, and I just like a question that I found I'm curious about this, and I wanted to ask him, like, every once in a while an actor comes along who plays a part that becomes so mainstream and it transcends just all things and becomes like an icon, and they become synonymous with it. And that happened to you with Harry Potter. So when you go on for roles post Harry Potter, like, do you find that people come into like a room with you and they have a preconceived notion of what you can do? Or do you find that it has provided you with opportunities to play more parts? And he gave a really cool answer about how he was like, well, some directors just think like, all right, this guy's Harry Potter. That's what he's going to be. That's all we can do with him. And there's other directors who realize like, I want to do weird stuff. I want to do funny roles that are different. And they want to have, they see it as an opportunity to show people that I'm doing something so different. And they think that's a cool chance to draw people in. And I was like, oh, that's it. He's like, so I tend to go that way. And I was like, it's cool. I don't think that interview's up yet, so I may have just ruined comic books exclusive on the comic book show phase here. But I thought that was a really cool answer, because like, there are actors who you'll always think of as that part, right? Like Andrew Lincoln's always going to be Rick Grimes to me, for example. You know what I mean?
Oh, to me, he's always Sign Guy from Love Actually.
I will say, though, to Jamie's point, it's like I never would have expected Robert Pattinson to sign on for a superhero thing in a million years. Like, I was like, okay, he's done with big franchise stuff. He's just going to go do the weirdest possible indie movies, and that's going to be it. I feel like Daniel Radcliffe is the same sort of way. I am so excited for his Weird Al movie. Like, that is just going to be incredible. I have a feeling that's going to be so good. So it's like, I think if the script and if the circumstances of playing a character like Wolverine, like, aligned with what he wants to do, I could totally see it working. Like, I love his self-awareness. I love how before BD could even finish his sentence, he's like, Wolverine. It's like, obviously you're going to talk to me about Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Like, I would love, like, he is kind of like my biggest fan cast for that character, because it is the thing of like, he is short. I could see him getting the physicality and also just the different sides of Logan down. So like, I would be on board with it if it happened. Stranger things have happened.
In the reverse of what I was saying, like, he could very well take the Arbats route. I mean, I mean, he has a very similar career trajectory. Super popular franchise, and then a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's our one S word for the show. So
There we go.
sorry.
I don't think we have like an actual sponsor, so I think anything goes. But we just.
Oh, anything goes?
Oh no.
I personally don't care. It depends on if the Paramount overlords are watching. I don't think. Hello, Bob. We love you. All right. I don't know. Made it weird. All right, we got one more piece of news here. Then maybe we'll answer a few questions if we still have time. And this one goes to none other than Jenna.
So piggybacking off of what I said at the start of the show of how last Wednesday was the craziest day ever, it was like, all right, I had written so many articles about, DC movies changing their release dates and so many other pieces of news. And then a bunch of like cups for the She-Hulk TV show, a bunch of thermoses surfaced online on Amazon that show Tatiana Maslany in the full costume as She-Hulk. And I was like, oh my God, this is like, it's not necessarily a photo. It's one of those like photorealistic, like concept art sort of drawings that we usually get with MCU things. But it was like, this is the best look yet that we've gotten as of her as She-Hulk. So those thermoses have been taken down. They aren't available to purchase. I would have bought one if I could have, but I think it probably would have gotten canceled by now. Yeah, let's make BD a little bit bigger so we can actually see what it looks like. I love it. I think she looks perfect. I am so excited. Like, just it always is the thing. Aaron made a perfect joke when I was writing up this article about just how everything is leaking in the weirdest possible way of all of these costume reveals. Like, Aaron, what was it you said? You mentioned like crab rangoons at one point.
I was like Trapper Keepers, Snickers wrappers, sweatpants, ATVs, crab rangoon, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Like all of these things just, you're going to open up your Chinese food. It's going to be like, haha, look, it's Ironheart. Like that's where we're headed.
Yeah. I'm just so excited though.
The She-Hulk reveal and a couple of cups the way Kevin Feige intended.
Yep.
I just want to know when, like, of all the merch reveals we're getting, when are we going to get Lego sets for the Disney Plus shows? That's what I need. We have had where's the WandaVision Lego set? I'm saying there's supposed to be a $500 Lego set being released in the first half of this year. We are halfway through the first half of the year. Where is my Avengers Tower Lego set? I will have 2 of them right here. I don't care. And you know who's going to own it? Me. I own Avengers Tower in Lego form.
If they make a WandaVision one, I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to need one of you to have fun and build it, because I don't want to build it. I just want to play it.
Yo, I'm saying they already made the Friends sets, the Seinfeld sets that were like the live studio audience things. Give us the live studio audience of WandaVision. Make it all black and white. I don't care. That'd be so dope. Give me a WandaVision Lego set. Give me all of them. Except What If. I don't really care if What If gets a Lego set, because What If got awards over Invincible and Arcane. I haven't watched Arcane, but based on everybody's responses, Arcane's amazing. I watched Invincible. It's great. The animation is very okay. But What If won like best animated series. And I was like, okay. Anyway. I just had to throw it in there. What if is the most okay thing ever? Some episodes were great. Some episodes were like, well.
It's going to be so funny in 2 months when we're all like, oh crap, what if is so important?
Yep.
Like every aspect of the show.
Well, that's fine. I mean, sure, but I wish I enjoyed watching it more.
That's fair.
I think there's a couple episodes in there that were fantastic, but out of all 9 of them, it was 9, right? Was it 9? 8?
Yeah.
Put that on the Marvel trivia for next time.
Oh, yeah, we need to do another Marvel trivia soon. All right. Well, the drought's almost over. Those Moon Knight episodes are getting I hope that all of us are getting them. I'm hoping. But I know Jim and I are getting them. I don't know why Jim's getting them, because Jim ain't on the show every week. Jim, if you're watching, you better invite Aaron, Jenna, and Jamie over, just not to watch Moon Knight, but, to hang out. Because, you do have to sign like a docu. When you get these episodes, as I'm sure I just think everybody will enjoy this. When you get Disney Plus screeners, you have to sign a document that says, like, I will watch this alone in my house with the windows closed and nobody around, where nobody can hear, like basically like saying like I will be isolated and quarantined watching whatever you just sent me. And you have to like docu-sign it legally and send it off. So you're not even supposed to watch it. But if you guys want to come over tomorrow just for like hot dogs, absolutely no Moon Knight, just fly over to Nashville.
Yeah, I'm going to fly over for some hot dogs tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, come on out. Jamie, I'm coming out to LA next week. Maybe I'll see you. Aaron,
Ooh.
you're outside of LA. You're
Yeah.
pretty much a trek, but maybe me and Jamie will hang
I'm
out.
going to be in Texas
Oh, wait.
Oh.
When do you go to Texas?
Wednesday.
Nice.
Oh, I get there Tuesday, so no excuse.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
And my excuse is I have to not see anybody so I don't get COVID before I go on this trip.
It's a fair excuse.
Fair
but
I'm
I'll
like,
allow
I'm
it.
currently in a
You said,
extreme
oh.
lockdown.
Oh.
It's a fair excuse.
That's
Well,
my life, everybody. If you want to know more, you know where to find me.
All right. Anybody have anything else they want to add to today's show? Comment section. If you have a question, this is your chance while we stall and try to give you a second to get it in there.
Oh,
Otherwise,
Doctor Strange stuff from Cumberbatch right before we got on. He said that he wasn't an Avenger. He said, "I'm not an Avenger," and I was like, And I guess his reasoning made sense, but like he's like, the character fights to protect the universe and Earth, and it's not like I'm in Avengers Tower like hanging out with like Tony Stark or like taking orders from Nick Fury. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, but also, woo. The first half of that, very, very, very strange. No pun.
speaking of strange, Jared Leto also said in an interview, I think with Variety this week, I saw the tweet from Variety that said movie theaters would not exist without Marvel movies. And I think he has a point. Like recently, obviously, I don't think he's talking about ever. Like Marvel movies are doing a lot to help theaters keep business. I also think that's a comment that's just going to get film Twitter just like, blah, 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 blah. There's other movies. But like, yeah, that's true. There's other movies. And a lot of us go see a lot of them, but they don't all make $100 million to keep Regal Cinemas and you're also your local mom and pop with the butts and seats. Everybody hates Marvel, but they do help the movie theaters.
Yes, everybody hates Marvel.
Not everybody. There's
Clearly.
Jamie.
highbrow.
Yeah, just
Twitter.
Jamie.
Just Jamie.
Not everybody. Certainly not
Look at me.
everybody. It feels like everybody when you get your quote tweets from film Twitter and they hate you for liking Marvel. But then I remember, well, I host Marvel shows, so sorry for doing my job. What else we got? Marvel Studio. Wait, where did that comment go? Marvel Studios released a statement regarding anti-LGBTQ laws. That was good to see. We appreciated that. A lot of okay. All right. Is Daisy Ridley Spider-Woman? Not right now. But maybe one day.
No, she is. We know it. We all have that information.
We have breaking news to release here at the end of Phase Zero. We just forgot to mention this. Daisy Ridley.
Someone is
I'm not
going
even
to
finishing
take
that
us
because it will
about
get clipped and somebody will run it.
No.
Richard, put the breaking news Chiron at the bottom of the screen.
No.
Future Phase Zero plans. Hopefully merch. We will have. I was hoping to have an announcement about the immediate Phase Zero future today, but we may be broadcasting on YouTube on a different channel next week. We'll figure that out, but that is coming soon. And now I've said it, so Jim can't undo it. And we're going to have a lot of cool content to fuel that new location. What character could Pedro Pascal play in the MCU? All of them.
Yeah.
Alternate universe Tony Stark is the first one because those are my two favorite things in one place, and he likes playing men in helmets. I don't know. Do you guys have anybody in mind?
I want to see him play someone spooky because it's like when he's friends with Oscar and he's friends with Gail Garcia Bernal, it's like let him join that spooky corner with his friends and somehow be involved in Midnight Suns. Like that would be very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
All right. I think that's it for today's show, guys.
We nailed it.
We did.
Hey, great job. What you guys, all of you were fantastic. I think everybody was great. I think we all looked tremendous on camera. I think we all brought tremendously intelligent points. Everybody who watched live was really spoiled today. And my TV will be back next week for everybody asking in the comments. The TV.
That's the breaking news.
TV.
Yeah.
We'll be back. All right. Morbius reviews when? I don't know. Whenever we're allowed to. They haven't told me when yet. The movie, I can confirm, though, it actually does exist.
Wow.
I can tell you that. All right. That's our show. Jamie, any final thoughts?
Oh boy. Thanks for listening, folks. You know me. I'm Jamie Cinematics on Twitter and Letterboxd. That's where I reside. I've been watching a lot of movies. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last night. Find out what I thought about it because I haven't seen it in 25 years.
I'm going to go do that.
Awesome.
Jenna.
Follow me on Twitter or anywhere else at Hey It's Jenna Lynn. Go read some comics. Marvel and DC both announced their like Pride Month initiatives. There's going to be some really great stuff coming out of that. And yeah, there's so many comics to read right now that are good or that are coming up in the pipeline. So go read comics.
Aaron, your goodbyes.
If you're concerned about Miss Marvel, go read Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit 1 and 2 and go see why or how they might be planning to make her power set a little bit more similar to Carol's. Also, my fellow Four Townies, go watch Turning Red.
Yes.
It's delightful. It's really delightful.
It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
To Layla's teacher or boss, whoever got mad at Layla for being on their phone, this is her note. She is excused. And that's today's show. Hit me up at Brandon Davis PD if you want to talk more. Moon Knight reactions will be on next week's show, and possibly some Morbius interviews, which I'm doing on Friday. So see you next Wednesday. Goodbye. Bum.